Hey, Derek and Sonia here. We're going to talk about something that's you never thought about before.
Have you ever been in a conflict with your husband?
Or wife.
And you want to find the words to say, but you can't find the words to say? You're so upset. It's probably because you haven't thought about one of these 5 emotions that are highly unidentified in marriage. So stay tuned and you'll find out what those are. So can we talk?
Okay, so here are the 2 most unidentified feelings in marriage from men. Number 1, overwhelmed, and number 2, fear. So men don't share that emotion or those emotions. And there's a lot of reasons why. Upbringing, we were told not to share emotions. So there's a lot of different reasons why. But the bottom line is that when a man wakes up in the morning and he does the things that he's designed to do, work, come home, he's doing all these things, and it's like juggling like 15 balls in the air. Okay, and sometimes we drop one, but we still got a lot of balls that we're juggling. The emotion that is prevalent for us is overwhelm. So we don't share that emotions with our wives, and of course our wives ask us the question, what's wrong? Say something.
How you feeling?
How you feeling? Talk to me. And those are questions that we can't even answer because we don't even know how we feel. And so if a man or a husband is able to say, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed. And I don't know what to do with that. And what happens is that he continues to do the same thing every day, over and over and over again. That's the first emotion that's unidentified in marriage for men. The second one is fear. We don't want to admit it because we're real men, and we don't want to say that we're afraid of anything because the moment that we've said it before, it was thrown back in our face, which you're a punk, you're a sissy, you're a wuss. You know, we never said we were afraid of anything from little boys to even growing up into relationships. And so when we are afraid of something, there's a stigma attached to that by us even saying it. Number 1, it's not safe because then we're judged. I'm supposed to be the leader of this house, and I'm saying I'm afraid. I have fears. I have fears getting up in the morning and getting to my car and driving. That's a fear because of what could happen to me. I have a fear of my children and what's going to happen to them. I'm afraid that if I even say something, so fear in regards to our intimacy, not now, but in the past, our intimacy, I was afraid to say how I felt because of the responses that my wife would give me. So those are the 2 unidentified emotions for men.
That's powerful.
Overwhelmed.
And afraid.
Like I was overwhelmed today. The aide didn't come. She's on vacation, so we only had 1 aide. So between 2 o'clock and 9 o'clock, we have to take care of Mom. And so, of course, I get up in the morning, I have to do everything. And then digital learning for my son. I got to do that. And then the dog. And then the bearded dragon. And then, you know, got to fix the sink. And then, you know, if I can just stop to see the clients, yes. And then all those things. In about 2 hours, I'm going to say to Sonia, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
As simple as that. It's like those of you like basketball. It's like Magic Johnson giving AC Green a no-look pass. Research it for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. Magic Johnson gets the pass behind his back, so I'm giving Sonia the ball. I'm overwhelmed. Now she has to do something with it. So the question is, what are you going to do with me feeling overwhelmed and afraid? What are you going to do with it? Because you're designed to help me.
Right. So let's walk and talk. So when Derek told me that the last time he felt overwhelmed was last week, and I said, well, how can I help? He said, there's nothing you can actually do, because I'm a doer. He says, there's nothing you can actually do that's going to help me feel better about the things I have to do, because they're things that I have to do, because I'm the husband, I'm the father, I'm the leader of this home. And so I said, okay, I know what I can do. So I told him to come closer to me because Derek's love language is physical touch. And so I had him give me a big hug. And then I just started humming one of our favorite love songs in his ear. And then I just started dancing with him in the kitchen. And we did that for like, what, 2 minutes?
We did it for about 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Any longer, you would have got it. Any longer, you would have got
So for 2 minutes, I just danced with my husband in the kitchen.
Let's go over here, because that guy's...
Oh yeah, the lawnmower. Let's go back. We can walk back. We're walking. We're walking. This was our relaxation walk, so we thought we'd talk and walk at the same time. We try to do that to kind of burn off some steam when we have a full day of sessions and counseling. So that's what I did. Wives, you might not be able to fix the problem. You might not be able to solve the problem. You might not be able to do anything about the feelings except meet your husband's love language. And if you don't know what the love languages are, they're 5. Gary Chapman wrote a book about them. Physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, or gifts. So for Derek, it was real easy to meet his love language because anytime I give him a touch of anything positive, of any kind of positive touch, it just melts him away. It
swells up.
It just, what? It just makes him relaxed and calm.
Swelled up.
You all swelled up?
All lathered up.
I don't know what that means, y'all.
You know what the heck it means.
Anyway, so let's transition to the 2 emotions most unidentified by wives. Wives, we have a high need of security. That's one of our top 10 intimacy needs. We've talked about that in season 1. We're in season 4, by the way. And the opposite of security is insecurity, which is a feeling which drives the need of security. But a lot of times I find that wives, when they do not feel secure or their husbands have breached their security, however they've chosen to do it, infidelity, not talking, withdrawing, overworking, whatever the behavior is, we will not say, I feel insecure. It's a very vulnerable feeling, and it is scary to say to someone that you don't know will know what to do with those feelings, but you gotta say it. So insecure is the first feeling that a lot of wives will not say to their husbands. And then the other feeling is unloved. We come to the marriage with rules on how we want to be loved, either by how our fathers loved us or how our mother loved us or how we were not loved by either one. But we have rules about being loved, and when our husbands aren't able to meet those behaviors, we will not say we feel unloved. Instead, we'll tell them what they're not doing and what's wrong with them, which honestly isn't going to help them tell us. I'm sorry, isn't going to help them show us. It's only going to put them on the defensive, and they're going to fall into their coping mechanisms that they've fallen into when they don't know what to do with the feelings that they've heard, because they don't know what to do with their own. So insecure and unloved are the 2 universal, unidentified, unexpressed emotions in most wives. Now, if you have been able to say those things, hit me up. I got a gift for you. Yeah, I got something for you, wives. If that's you and you say, oh, I say those feelings to my husband all the time, I got something for you, something special. You got to hit me up, though. marriagemenders.org. Go on our chat. Then we have the universal emotion. Do you want to talk about those 2? If I say I feel insecure and unloved? I haven't had to say that to Derek in years.
No, let's go back to when you did say it.
Okay, yeah.
When you did say it, I felt inadequate. I never said that.
Ooh.
And I didn't know what to do with that.
Ooh.
I felt like when she was saying it, I was a failure. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't meeting her standards. So I froze in time. I was like frozen time, not knowing what to do with that, because they communicated to me that I wasn't good enough. And so what I did with it, I had a little Cavassier, a twist of lime
On rocks.
on the rocks. So that's what I did with it, because I didn't know what that meant. And then the conflict began back and forth of trying to figure out what that really meant.
So when I realized that he didn't know what to do with it, I had to kind of explain. When you come home on time and you ask how I'm doing and you take care of our home, I feel loved and secure. When you don't do those things, I feel unloved and insecure. When you shut down, I feel insecure because I don't know how you're feeling, and I'm here to help you. And I feel insecure because I'm not sure what you're going to do with those feelings when you shut down. So I hope that this helps somebody as a wife and even as a husband, because you might be watching this and your wife might not. But if you have a tendency to shut down or overwork, disappear, play a bunch of video games. We got husbands playing video games for 3, 4, 5 hours straight. I don't know how you lead in your household.
That goes against the principle. I mean, stop. It's your turn. I'm not going to get on.
How?
No, let's keep on.
How you lead in your household, but you got time to play games? I just don't understand that. I'm not saying that, you know, recreation is not therapeutic. Don't get me wrong. I think that there is a place for it. And we're not judging people that play games. What we're saying is you can't afford to be playing video games for more than at least 2 hours a day when you already are cheated out of the time.
Please do not talk
that work requires.
That's too much.
Husbands that are watching this, they can be peeking in and eavesdropping.
Okay, well that'll be good.
Okay.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah, I got Derek all riled up on that.
Yeah, I don't even want to go there.
Yeah, Derek's all riled up on that one.
So now there's a universal feeling in marriage that's unidentified.
And that feeling word is disappointment. A lot of the times we will skip feeling disappointed, identifying it, saying it, and go right to anger, upset, frustrated, annoyed. But really the primary emotion is disappointment. So we just don't say it. I feel disappointed that you didn't come home at the time you said you were going to come home. I feel disappointed that all I got for our anniversary was a card. Or, you know, whatever you were hoping you would get and you didn't get. I was disappointed that we didn't do anything special.
I was disappointed that the job didn't put me up for promotion and they picked somebody else.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
I was disappointed that you didn't honor the promise that you made that you were going to, you know, come home early.
I was disappointed that I was wanting to be intimate with you and you went to sleep with your iPad in front of you. I was a little disappointed.
Disappointed that I had to do all the homework and bedtime with the kids, even though I asked for help, you didn't come help.
Yeah, I was disappointed when the sexual intimacy wasn't there again for the second time in a row.
But you ain't talking about that to me.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, I was going to say, because I'd be ready, like
Stop,
Freddie.
stop.
I'm just
Stop,
saying.
stop.
Why you keep emphasizing sex then?
Because people need to hear this.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't really talking
Okay,
to you.
but they might think it's about us.
Really? They think it's about us? They know that the McCullums be getting it in.
Oh,
so
gosh.
whoever watches this, there's no question in their mind that sex is not.
And it's, you know, it's so okay to talk about sex like that.
Okay.
You know, sex is supposed to be
So
something
you said
healthy.
they
I know. It's
yeah,
just
you know, they
okay.
They know that you're a freak.
So you all get the point, right? This is why I'm not a freak. I am just healthy in my sexuality. And if you're not, wives, call me. I'll help you out with that.
No, don't say that, because then there's some women who are
supposed to call me.
bisexual, who are lesbians, and you say help them out with that, they're going to think.
No, I'm talking about heterosexual marriage. I'm talking about marriage is God.
You got to be clear on that, honey, because
marriage is God ordained it.
Thank
female
you.
and male,
Thank you.
male, female. He created them.
Okay, you have to say that.
I
We're
know.
in 2020.
I'm annoyed at that. I have to say that.
Okay.
I'm annoyed.
So,
it's contrary to what people think. One organ was made to enter another organ, thus sex. I don't understand. It's not that hard.
We need to do a vlog on that.
It's really not that hard. Oh, gosh.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
We gave you a lot of good information to kind of digest and unpack. So, Sonia, what would you tell the husbands? I said for men, the two unidentified emotions or feeling that we don't share is overwhelmed and fear.
Right. So, husbands, first know that saying that doesn't make you weak, okay? It makes you strong because you're strong enough to identify your emotions and communicate them to your wife. If for any reason you get stuck and you can't say, I feel overwhelmed or I feel afraid, then write it down. Write it down and give it to your wife at the end of the day. Say, you know, earlier today when you saw me huffing and puffing, or you saw me leave the house, or you saw me storming out, or you saw me shutting down, it was really because I was feeling overwhelmed, or it was really because I was feeling afraid. You know, a lot of times men wonder, well, what am I afraid of? Well, Derek told me his fears. Fear of not being able to protect his family. Fear of keeping them safe from COVID or any other kind of calamity. Fear of not being able to provide what they need, you know, college or braces, bills, you know. Even though he's a great provider, there's still fear there. So those are just some examples. When we say fear, it doesn't mean that you're scared of a spider. You know, not that anything's wrong if you are, but we're talking about real life fears that men, leaders, who are responsible to God for their wife and their children have to deal with. And those are true fears. They're legitimate. That's a lot. You know, I wouldn't want to be the leader of our household. I like helping the leader. I'm good with that. And some of wives have stepped in and have tried to become leaders.
Come here, Oliver.
Because their husbands... Get over here. That's our dog. Sorry, he's just wandering. Because our husbands are afraid, or if they've been immobilized and haven't been able to do it. But try to have a conversation about switching off the responsibilities, because it's really not yours. It's really not yours. They're the leaders for a reason. They came first for a reason. God gave man dominion for a reason. So this is to the husbands what to do. The second thing that you can do, if writing it down doesn't work for you, is at some point asking your wife for help, saying, can you help me? I have emotions and I'm stuck. And then tell them the experience that you had. Most wives, if they're healthy enough emotionally, they're made to help. They'll help you. So those are the two things I would suggest for you hubbies to do if you get stuck with identifying or expressing those two feelings. I talked about the wives having two very common unidentified feelings, which is feeling unloved and insecure. What would you tell the wives?
So I would tell the wives that keep in mind that when you say those feelings, give your husband some time to unpack just those feelings. Like, what does unloved mean? Like, because if he gets stuck, if he gives you the deer in the headlight looks, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've done the best I could. Kind of forge through those responses and teach him what that means from your perspective. Kind of verbalize it. Unloved means this for me. Mm-hmm. This is what it looks like for me. And you may want to go into maybe a little bit more detail. Love for me looks like this in my upbringing, and I don't want it to look like that. Or love for me looked like that, and I want it to look like that. Mm-hmm. So you have to really, because our brains are very concrete, and so if you talk a lot, so keep it short. You know, say it, keep it short,
concise, and clear.
Yeah. So keep it short, concise, and clear, and then wait. And if you get stuck, be patient. And then kind of massage that part of his brain and that part of his heart where he's not able to connect right away, but give him some time and he will. What was the second?
The universal unidentified feeling is disappointment. And that's for both husbands and wives. We find that we just don't say that feeling word when it applies. So that kind of goes along with all the other advice that we just gave as far as how to get it across. Just remember times that you do now connect feeling disappointed, and just remember that it's okay to identify it, because if you don't, what happens is it grows into another emotion. We call it the secondary emotion: anger, frustration, annoyance.
And the big one, resentment.
Resentment, yeah. So make sure that you identify it first, you know, and again, however you choose to communicate it, writing it down, saying, can we talk? Let's have a chat, you know, whatever.
Okay. Hopefully that's enough. If you have any questions, feel free to email us, text us, and we can probably respond to you better if you have any questions about that. Because it's a deep kind of, it's a paradigm shift. It's a deeper thinking because there's a lot of barriers. I mean, you're talking about someone who's is a survivor of abuse. Those are barriers to be able to express those feelings. So, you know, there's a deeper layer, but we want to kind of just give you the understanding that there are emotions that are unidentified in marriage. We want you to guys at least talk about it. Okay.
Slow it down. Slow it down and allow yourself to remember what you experienced and the feelings that came from it.
Okay.
So now that you know.
I think we lost a dog.
No, he's inside.
I think he gone. He ran away. Toby ran away. Not Toby. Oliver.
There goes so Derek being afraid again.
No, it's not fair. Yeah, it goes to the other video. It's my issue. So now that you know
what you're going to do with it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
And take good care of yourselves.
All right.
Bye.